celebrating Windrush Day 2022. We've just had a fantastic interview with Lisa Anderson from Black Culture Archives, and we're continuing our conversations and interviews with great people from the community, talented people like our next guest, and so much more.
So much more. We have been having a fantastic time, as Iola said, and we've been joined by some great people. We hope you've been enjoying it today. We hope you're still with us listening in if you didn't make it down here in person. But the next guest we have coming up is a beautiful young artist called Longley. And Umu has been invited to create an installation of her work on the theme of Olive Morris, under the title Voices of the Archive for Windrush 2022. Welcome, Umu.
Hi, hello, nice to be here. Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, just trying not to get too hot.
Yeah, try not to melt in your chair. Yeah. How are you finding today?
Yeah, it's been lovely. I've just been down at the installation, just like meeting people, chatting to people. So yeah, nice, lots of people about. I'm having a great day.
Yeah. And what's the conversation around it?
So a lot of people have been coming in just that perhaps knew Olive or remember Olive, and think it's quite nice for us and other members of the community to be able to really celebrate her, because she's sometimes someone that's not spoken about so much, and I think that's why it's so important to use this day to make space for her story.
For those who don't know her story, would you just share a little bit about Olive for us?
Yeah, for sure. So Olive was born in 1952 in Jamaica and moved across to the UK, to London, to Brixton when she was 9. After that, she sort of went on to join the Black Panther Youth League, and as a late teenager and early adult, went on to form a few really influential black women's groups. One of them was called the Organisation for Women of African and Asian Descent, and the other one being the Brixton Black Women's Group. She went to Manchester University and got a degree in social sciences, probably about 1978. And then very sadly in 1979 she passed away after a year-long battle with non-Hodgkin lymphoma. So she was only about 27 at the time, but she already made a really big impact. You know, I've just listed a few things, but there's so much that Olive did really, and so many ways that she affected people.
Yeah.
And how did you come to know and understand about Olive?
So I think where I was at is I went through my, education. I went through secondary school, college, got to uni, and I was learning about Black history, and a lot of the things I was learning was sort of American-based. And I was feeling like, what's happening here? Like, is there not a Black story that exists in the UK? And part of me felt like maybe that was happening because, in a way, by talking about race when we talk about the UK and talking about it in terms of America, it allows us to displace it as something that doesn't really happen here. So then I sort of went and started doing bits of my own research and went on to discover Olive's story and learn more about her and more about people that she was connected to.
So the work actually that you've done is the first Make It in Brixton fabrication, right? And it's creating a bespoke installation, or it's created a bespoke installation in Brixton Village, which many will know and love. Brixton Village is a great art, community, creative, wonderful space. And it's to celebrate Olive's life as you've described. But tell us about the creative process that you went through when this came your way.
Well, I think it was quite an emotional experience, actually, because what the audio piece is it's a combination of lots of different interviews that this group called the Remembering Olive Collective took in 2009. And it was so powerful hearing the way people spoke about it. So creatively, it was somehow very personal experience, because I was listening to such personal stories about this person and stories that we're not normally given access to. And then it was a matter of connecting with some people who made some really perfect music for it, somebody called Albertina and Jacob Samuel. And Albertina, what she had was records from her dad when he was making dub back, I'm not sure what era, but probably around 60s, 70s. And we managed to incorporate those records, and he had passed away just a year before we started making the piece. So there was just so many really beautiful personal crossovers that were happening as we were making it that really, I don't know, it just made it feel so personal. When we finally finished it, it was almost a bit sad actually, but...
And I think one of the things as well that, from what you've just said, that really stands out, and as we know is part of the overall Voices of the Archive installation, is that Black history is living history. So you spoke about these crossovers and how almost that kind of cross-pollination produces something which we haven't seen the installation just yet, but we are going to check it out.
Most definitely.
Produces something that's so special and so magical. As a young person yourself, how did you, when you discovered about Olive's story, how did you feel about her having achieved so much? I mean, what did that leave with you? Her having achieved so much and then obviously dying at the age of 27.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting because obviously I came to it experiencing this sense of loss that I feel like many Black people do in the UK, loss of your own history, loss of your connection to your culture. So when I was in the archive learning about Olive, and I was in this space which is usually such a institutional space, somewhere that has done a lot of damage to Black communities through that erasure. But as I started to learn more about Olive and hear about her and how she was, I started to feel more and more comfortable in that space, strangely. So it's kind of like a matter of knowing how you can be in the present by knowing how people were in the past, and being able to sort of pass that forwards as well. So yeah, it really did change my whole perspective of myself as well, and as I'm sure it does to many people when they get to learn about the people that have come before them.
Oh, that's fantastic. I just wanted to know, what impact would you like for it to have on people who visit the installation?
I'm not sure. I'd like for people to remember, like you said, that Black history is really living, and I think it's really important to understand Black history as something that can be impermanent, or I wanted to basically embrace the sort of impermanence and collective memory that Black history often has taken on, because it's not marked in institutions, you know, it's remembered in family pictures, it's remembered over dinner tables. So the piece kind of tries to embrace that fluidity and embrace that kind of collective memory as like a shared thing that is legitimate. So I'd like people to leave understanding that and feeling like a part of that actually, and being brought into that conversation so that they can reflect on how do I remember Olive Morris, how can I re-remember Olive Morris and continue to tell her story?
Yeah, beautiful.
And many stories like it, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah.
There are many not very well-known Olive Morris stories out there that we need to uncover, and through your work, we've been able to do that, and you have probably, in fact, definitely, you're going to bring it to a new generation and a new audience, and bring renewed understanding about these great pioneers that have gone before.
I do have to give credit to the Remembering Olive Collective, who conducted all the interviews in 2009 and got that archive instilled at Lambeth Archives. I feel like I just sort of came in on top and made it into something new.
Yeah, well, it's a collective effort.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
That's beautiful for you to honour. And today is all about that honouring and the connectivity between all of us and the legacy, and, you know, the important work that's today, here, now. And it's a collective thing because we are here. So thank you for joining us, Umar.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Thank you so much.
Sitting and talking with us.